Case study: Natal to Navamsha Nakshatra Pada analysis for Myra Ascendant and First House, Aquarius and Dhanishta Nakshatra, Third Pada, Navamsha Libra First House. Natal chart expression: outer personality. Aquarius Ascendant, a fixed air sign ruled by Saturn and co-ruled by Rahu, makes Myra naturally future-oriented, idealistic, and independent. There's an innate desire to stand apart from the crowd, not through flamboyance, but through originality and deeply held principles. Aquarius rising individuals often operate with a sense of purpose that transcends convention and prioritize ideas or movements that bring equality or progress. Dhanishta Nakshatra, ruled by Mars, brings a powerful rhythm to this otherwise cerebral ascendant. Dhanishta natives are resourceful, action-driven, and often have a deep connection to music, movement, or organizational leadership. In Aquarius, Dhanishta's ambitions are infused with social aims. Myra is someone who can engineer systems or structures that benefit the group, whether through innovation, humanitarian work, or policy. Third Pada of Dhanishta falls in Libra Navamsha, bringing Venusian finesse into the mix. This imbues Myra with charm, sociability, and an appreciation for beauty, justice, and harmony. The otherwise aloof and strategic Aquarius persona is softened here, making her diplomatic, elegant, and a natural at navigating interpersonal dynamics. Navamsha reflection: inner compass. Libra rising in the D9 chart shows that internally, Myra values relationships, grace, and balance. She may present as intellectual or progressive in the world, but her soul yearns for fairness, partnership, and aesthetic equilibrium. With Venus as the Navamsha Lagna Lord, her inner growth is tied to learning how to love without losing herself and creating beauty without becoming dependent on validation. There's a refined awareness of social dynamics and a need to bring equality and diplomacy into all roles she takes up, be it friend, leader, partner, or professional. Integration of Natal and Navamsha themes. Aquarius Dhanishta, Mars, Saturn, Rahu ruled, shows a karmic journey of restructuring social frameworks with drive and idealism. Libra Navamsha, Venus ruled, shows that the soul craves harmony and equal exchange, reminding Myra to anchor action in compassion and inclusion. The bridge between both charts suggests a person who thrives when their innovations are aligned with elegance, cooperation, and aesthetic or moral symmetry. Priority for evolution. Balance the Aquarian detachment with the Libra longing for intimacy and equality. Avoid over-identifying with being different or contrarian. Your grace lies in weaving differences together, not standing apart. Use your social intelligence and visionary mindset to create collaborative systems where every voice counts and beauty is built into structure. Conclusion. Myra's ascendant story reveals a soul who carries the discipline and sharp perception of Aquarius Dhanishta, paired with an inner compass that's guided by grace, balance, and justice. Her path lies in merging the rhythm of reform with the poise of diplomacy, transforming ideals into experiences that are not only progressive, but deeply human and harmonizing. Rahu and Rohini Nakshatra, Third Pada, Fourth House, Navamsha Taurus, Eighth House. Natal placement overview. Rahu placed in the fourth house in Taurus indicates an intense karmic craving for emotional security, material stability, and an idealized sense of home or motherly nurturing. Rohini, ruled by the moon and known for its sensuality, creativity, and strong attachment to beauty and comfort, magnifies this longing. Rahu here suggests an obsessive pursuit of emotional anchoring, luxurious surroundings, and approval from maternal figures or domestic environments. Rohini's third pada falls in Capricorn Navamsha, but in this case, Rahu shifts to the Taurus Navamsha 8th house, reinforcing themes of possessiveness, transformation through emotional turbulence, and the need to control comfort zones. Rahu in Rohini, third pada, core themes, ambition through emotion. The Capricorn influence from the third pada adds ambition and performance orientation. Rahu here tries to prove emotional worth through achievement, comfort, or status at home. Inner control issues. There's a tension between desiring comfort and fearing emotional vulnerability. This can lead to manipulative patterns within the home or family dynamics. Over-identification with home image. A person might obsessively seek the perfect home, family, or maternal bond, but remain emotionally unsatisfied. Navamsha reflection. Inner karmic anchor. In Taurus, 8th house, Navamsha, Rahu transforms from a seeker of beauty and comfort into one entangled in the underbelly of power dynamics in emotional or shared spaces. Hidden fear of loss or instability. While outwardly projecting calm, Rahu here fears betrayal or emotional destabilization. Resource merging issues. In relationships or marriage, Rahu in the 8th can indicate emotional dependency, yet a simultaneous reluctance to surrender. Esoteric and occult leanings. There may be an unconscious draw toward astrology, tantra, or inheritance-linked power. Priority for evolution, from attachment to emotional mastery. The soul must move from controlling emotional experiences toward accepting depth and change in intimate dynamics. From outer beauty to inner stability, emotional maturity lies not in perfect surroundings, but in resilience through discomfort and relational vulnerability. From manipulation to maturity, the evolution pathway is about using Rahu's desire for harmony, not to control, but to stabilize shared emotional energy without fear. Conclusion. Rahu in Rohini 3rd Pada in the 4th house creates a persona fixated on comfort and control, while its Navamsha placement in Taurus 8th house demands surrender, depth, and emotional evolution. This placement teaches the individual to reconcile surface-level security with deeper, transformative intimacy, turning Rahu's restless hunger into grounded emotional power. Saturn in Mrigashira Nakshatra, 4th Pada, Gemini, 5th house, Navamsha Scorpio, 2nd house. Natal placement overview. Saturn in the 5th house in Gemini in Mrigashira Nakshatra shows a cautious, measured approach to creativity, romance, and self-expression. The 5th house governs intellect, speculative ventures, and children. In Gemini, Saturn becomes mentally disciplined, but can also manifest as overcritical or rigid in its thinking. Mrigashira, a nakshatra known for its restlessness, search for novelty, and curiosity, adds contrast to Saturn's usual restraint. The 4th Pada, falling in Pisces Navamsha, but this case lands Saturn into Scorpio, 2nd house, Navamsha, intensifying the emotional undertone and linking karmic responsibility with family values, finances, and speech. Saturn in Mrigashira, 4th Pada, core themes. Suppressed creativity. Saturn brings delayed confidence in expressing ideas or affection. The person may second-guess their voice or artistic output. Detached parenting. Either the native experienced a strict parental figure or becomes one, particularly in how they handle responsibilities toward children or students. Curious but controlled. Mrigashira's intellectual hunger is cooled by Saturn's fear of instability. It creates a calculating thinker who won't chase ideas impulsively. Navamsha reflection, Scorpio 2nd house, voices power. Speech, tone, and emotional authority become central karmic themes. The person may struggle with trust versus silence, choosing words cautiously. Family karma and austerity. There may be responsibilities related to finances or ancestral duties that feel burdensome. Inner transformation through resources. Money management, emotional security, and values undergo transformation due to deep karmic entanglements or fear of loss. Priority for evolution. From delay to mastery, Saturn demands maturity in handling creative self-expression and family communication. From mental rigidity to emotional depth, transition from head-based logic to heart-centered wisdom through disciplined self-reflection. From voice suppression to vocal integrity, learning when to speak, what to say, and how to express one's values becomes a karmic test. Moon in Punarvasu Nakshatra, 2nd Pada, Gemini, 5th house, Navamsha Taurus, 8th Hadal placement overview. Moon in the 5th house in Gemini indicates a mind that is childlike, curious, and emotionally engaged with learning, communication, and romantic ideals. Punarvasu, ruled by Jupiter, brings themes of restoration, resilience, and return to harmony after emotional disruption. The 2nd Pada, falling in Taurus Navamsha, here translates to Taurus Navamsha, 8th house, which deepens the emotional intensity, anchoring it in fixed earth, desiring stability but confronting emotional vulnerability. Moon in Punarvasu, 2nd Pada, core themes. Emotional recovery. Punarvasu teaches through loss and renewal. The native may often rebuild their confidence after romantic or intellectual disappointment. Emotionally guided creativity. Their imaginative expression is shaped by memory, tradition, and longing to restore balance. Idealism in love or parenting. They seek nurturing connections and often romanticize the past or childhood experiences. Have Navamsha reflection, Taurus, 8th house. Emotional inheritance. The soul may carry unspoken legacies around emotional security, sensuality, or trauma within intimate bonds. Resistance to emotional change. While Moon in Taurus seeks stability in the 8th house, it is often forced to let go of emotional control, particularly in relationships. Financial and emotional interlinking. Shared resources, sexual trust, and subconscious fears around loss or exposure come into play. Priority for evolution. From safety to surrender. Emotional safety is not found in controlling situations, but in allowing change to occur gracefully. From sentimentality to depth. Learning to let go of the past and embrace emotional intensity is key. From dependency to shared empowerment. Navigating relationships where power and emotional sharing are balanced, not feared. Combined insight. Both Saturn and Moon in the 5th house in Gemini create a highly intellectual, memory-rich, and emotionally analytical individual. While Saturn restricts and tests the voice of self-expression, Moon seeks emotional validation and creative recovery. The Navamsha placements, Scorpio and Taurus, pull the chart toward intense karmic lessons around value, speech, family legacy, and emotional depth, especially in relationships and self-worth. Jupiter in Ascendant Nakshatra, 3rd Pada, Cancer, 6th house, Navamsha Aquarius, 5th house, natal placement overview. Jupiter in the 6th house in Cancer, its sign of exaltation, grants a protective and wise energy in matters of daily work, service, and healing. However, being placed in Ascendant Nakshatra, it absorbs intense emotional, serpentine qualities, highlighting psychological depth, karmic entanglements, and the subtle use of power in everyday life. The 6th house naturally deals with conflict resolution, enemies, health, and duties, so Jupiter here becomes a philosopher warrior, teaching growth through humble service and struggle. The 3rd Pada of Ashlesha falls in Pisces Navamsha, which here translates to Aquarius, 5th house in the Navamsha, infusing Jupiter's dharmic guidance with themes of intellectual creativity, collective wisdom, and emotionally detached higher learning. Jupiter in Ashlesha, 3rd Pada core themes, wisdom through emotional labyrinths. Ashlesha is known for emotional intensity and karmic bonds. Jupiter here becomes protective, strategic, and deeply intuitive, especially about mental or emotional healing. Subtle power and service. The individual may wield influence not through open confrontation, but through emotional insight, psychology, or behind-the-scenes guidance. Spiritualized healing instinct. Jupiter in exaltation, even in a complex nakshatra like Ashlesha, gives the potential to transform poison into medicine, especially in health, work environments, or mentorship roles. Navamsha reflection. Aquarius, 5th house, detached dharma. Aquarius in the 5th suggests a teacher or visionary who guides through intellect, not ego. There's emotional intelligence, but it's applied with objectivity and futuristic thought. Karmic legacy via ideas. Their children, projects, or teachings are meant to serve a larger collective purpose, not just personal glory. Emotional integration into creative output. While Ashlesha binds emotionally, the Aquarius Navamsha seeks liberation. This creates a dynamic tension that ultimately pushes the person toward emotional mastery through universal service. Priority for evolution. From entanglement to empowerment, the native must learn to use emotional and psychic intelligence, not for control, but for healing and release. From servitude to self-sovereignty. Though placed in the house of duties, Jupiter's exalted power pushes them to become conscious custodians, not martyrs. From manipulation to higher purpose, Ashlesha's shadow can tempt emotional or intellectual manipulation. The evolutionary path requires accountability and alignment with collective upliftment. Jupiter in Ashlesha's 3rd Pada in the 6th house is a unique blend of depth psychology, karmic medicine, and dharmic leadership. In Navamsha Aquarius, its wisdom shifts from the emotional waters of Cancer to the cool intellect of the cosmic humanitarian, challenging the native to transmute emotional shadow into collective light through disciplined service and creative legacy. Venus in Chitra Nakshatra, 4th Pada, Libra, 9th house, Navamsha Scorpio, 2nd house. Mars in Chitra Nakshatra, 3rd Pada, Libra, 9th house, Navamsha, Libra, 1st house. Venus in Libra, Chitra Nakshatra, 4th Pada, Navamsha, Scorpio, 2nd house. Natal chart influence, 9th house, Venus in its own sign. Libra in the 9th house gives a deep love for beauty and philosophy, justice, and the higher arts. There's a natural refinement in spiritual inquiry and a charming diplomacy when dealing with teachers, elders, and moral systems. Chitra Nakshatra intensifies this with aesthetic ambition, creativity, and architectural perfection. But in the fourth pada, this energy subtly leans toward the emotional intensity of Scorpio Navamsha. Pada 4 influence, Scorpio Navamsha. This position brings emotional depth and secretiveness into Venus's normally charming nature. Love, aesthetics, and values are colored by themes of loyalty, transformation, and hidden power. The individual seeks intimacy and soulful devotion in higher wisdom and may approach Dharma as a path of inner alchemy. With the second house Navamsha placement, legacy, voice, and self-worth are deeply tied to intense emotional bonds and spiritual wealth. Evolutionary priority. From external charm to inner transformation, learning to value deeper emotional honesty over surface-level harmony. There's a journey from performing beauty to becoming it through soulful integration. Mars in Libra, Chitra Nakshatra, 3rd Pada Libra, 1st house. Natal chart influence, 9th house. Mars in Libra is in a diplomatic battlefield, learning to express assertion in non-confrontational, refined ways. In the 9th house, Mars becomes a champion of principles, possibly taking a warrior-like stance in matters of justice, ethics, or law. Chitra's architectural and visionary qualities refine Mars's energy, giving it creative direction, charm, and strategic pursuit of ideals. Pada 3 influence, Libra Navamsha. This amplifies Mars's need to act within socially acceptable frameworks. Mars in Libra Navamsha finds balance between self-assertion and collaboration, making it excellent for artistic or judicial leadership. In the 1st house Navamsha, the energy is directed towards self-definition, personal brand, and social engagement. Evolutionary priority. From impulsive righteousness to balanced leadership, mastering the art of fighting for truth without aggression, cultivating graceful courage and creative discipline in service of Dharma. Summary. Together, Venus and Mars in Chitra Nakshatra in the 9th house form a potent combo of refined creativity, philosophical charisma, and dynamic idealism. Venus, Scorpio Navamsha, 2nd house, seeks emotional intimacy through beauty and value systems. Mars, Libra 1st house, refines self-expression and action toward aesthetic and ethical precision. The individual is likely drawn toward artistic disciplines, law, design, or spiritual paths that allow them to build beauty with power and purpose, balancing passion and poise, sensation and structure, justice and grace. Ketu in Anuradha Nakshatra, 4th Pada, Scorpio, 10th house, Navamsha Scorpio, 2nd house. Sun in Anuradha Nakshatra, 2nd Pada, Scorpio, 10th house, Navamsha Virgo, 12th house. Ketu in Scorpio, Anuradha Nakshatra, 4th Pada, Navamsha Scorpio, 2nd house. Natal chart expression, 10th house. Ketu in the 10th house detaches the native from conventional career recognition or societal validation, yet ironically pushes them into roles where their karmic residue from past leadership must be processed. In Scorpio, Ketu becomes a symbol of emotional purging, secrecy, and power navigation in professional domains. Anuradha, ruled by Mitra, friendship and devotion, lends a loyal, strategic, and structured spiritual discipline to Ketu. The 4th Pad map to Scorpio Navamsha intensifies internal transformation, making this placement a portal to esoteric mastery, psychic understanding of systems, and karmic reckoning in hierarchical institutions. Navamsha influence, Scorpio 2nd house. The native may experience a paradox, publicly disconnected from external validation, but internally fixated on the emotional or financial impact of their professional legacy. Voice, speech, and truth-telling may carry a mystic charge, inherited from ancestral or past life wisdom. This gives them raw emotional magnetism, often misunderstood yet piercingly wise. Evolutionary priority. From external withdrawal and status seeking to inner mastery of purposeful silence and legacy influence, Ketu here pushes one to lead from behind, influence in shadow, and detach from egoic ambition in order to channel deeper transformative power. Hat Sun in Scorpio, Anuradha Nakshatra, 2nd Pada, Virgo, 12th house. Natal chart expression, 10th house. The Sun in the 10th house is typically ambitious and driven, seeking recognition and authority. In Scorpio, this Sun doesn't chase fame for applause, but rather for control, impact, and transformation. In Anuradha, it manifests as loyalty to causes and structured strategic leadership, often gaining silent respect more than loud praise. The second pada, connected to Virgo Navamsha, adds an element of precision, accountability, and humility to this power. The native may project strength, but operate behind the scenes, choosing practical service and efficient systems as their tools of influence. Navamsha influence, Virgo, 12th house. The underlying soul pattern here points to sacrificial intelligence, someone who gives up the limelight in service of something more refined, pure, or healing. This sun works best in retreat, reflection, or spiritually aligned administration, embodying the archetype of the quiet hermit leader, monk executive, or hidden healer. Evolutionary priority. From overt control through visibility to subtle influence through service, the sun's journey here is toward ego purification and soul alignment, becoming less about status and more about precision-driven transformation for collective evolution. Summary. Together in the 10th house, Sun and Ketu in Anuradha signal a karmic leadership signature, one that must relinquish egoic drives while embracing transformative service. Ketu's Scorpio Navamsha directs attention to legacy, silence, and ancestral influence through voice and value. Sun's Virgo Navamsha calls for a retreat from dominance into meticulous, invisible service. This is the chart of someone born to dismantle, reform, or spiritually cleanse institutional power, walking the fine line between outer renunciation and inner authority. These placements suit those in research, crisis leadership, psychological mentorship, or spiritual governance. Mercury in Anuradha Nakshatra, 4th pada, Scorpio, 10th house, Navamsha Scorpio, 2nd house. Mercury in Scorpio, Anuradha Nakshatra, 4th pada, Navamsha Scorpio, 2nd house. Natal chart expression, 10th house. Mercury in the 10th house contributes to a strategic communicator, someone who uses intellect, language, and logic to shape career and public image. In Scorpio, Mercury becomes intensely observant, probing beneath the surface with sharp perception and psychological depth. Here, words are weapons, tools, and shields all at once. Anuradha Nakshatra, ruled by Mitra, adds diplomatic finesse, networking ability, and strategic patience to Mercury's core. The 4th pada, aligned with Scorpio Navamsha, deepens this further, turning Mercury into a silent manipulator of information, or a researcher who thrives in secrets, archives, and the buried layers of human behavior. This placement often produces people who are unafraid to speak hard truths, but only when necessary. They may hold back until the exact moment when their speech will make the most impact. Navamsha influence, Scorpio, 2nd house. The voice carries emotional power, intensity, and persuasive resonance. Speech may be slow, deliberate, yet unforgettable, marked by emotive undercurrents and strategic silence. This Mercury isn't playful. It's precise, cautious, and geared toward emotional outcomes, not just intellectual clarity. It also points to ancestral karmic patterns around speech, values, and money, suggesting the native may have had lifetimes where their words shaped or destroyed empires, reputations, or legacies. Evolutionary priority. From using intellect for external validation or control, to expressing inner truths with emotional accountability and purpose, Mercury here matures into a tool of transformative expression. The journey lies in refining one's emotional intelligence, deep listening, and nonlinear perception of communication. Summary. Mercury in Anuradha 4th pada within Scorpio, especially in the 10th house, marks an archetype of the invisible strategist, someone whose career success is tied not to overt displays of intelligence, but to their emotional calibration, intuitive timing, and depth-oriented mental precision. The Scorpio Navamsha in the 2nd house brings this intelligence into material, ancestral, and vocal expression, often for healing or dismantling toxic power structures. This suits professions like investigative journalism, political strategy, psychological counseling, intelligence analysis, esoteric scriptural interpretation. The mind is never superficial. It seeks to transmit power through ideas, but only after penetrating layers of silence, secrecy, and soul.